Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing the new Lexus TX. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Lexus here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this TX. This particular one is still available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbocharged 2.4 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 275 horsepower and then 317 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood on the TX, notice how it kind of like raises up towards the windshield. It gives us a much larger appearance overall, and you got the Lexus logo there in the center. Really sharp headlight design. Notice how the daytime running light still mimics the Lexus logo. And then you guys can see down below with the fog light. And then notice how the grille has the gray coloration on it and how it's all painted. I think that definitely, helps with adding to kind of like the larger front end appearance. And when you put it all together, it's hard to tell on camera, but in person, this definitely has like an imposing front end design. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 255, 55, 20 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see here with the wheels, you've got the metallic gray coloration. Notice the fender flares are painted, and then you've got that same thing with the trim on the side. Got some chrome trim here around the windows too. And then here is our full side view with the TX. And this is where you can definitely tell the size difference between this and something like the RX. So there's an RX over there. I know they're not perfectly next to each other. There's actually an NX right there, and the NX looks tiny compared to the TX. But you can see the RX right there behind the NX. And so you can definitely tell that the TX, it's taller than the RX, but it's also longer. And then here's a quick look at the key fob. We have our lock and unlock function opening for the hatch, and then the Lexus logo on the back. Now popping into the hatch, you guys can see we've got a decent amount of storage space behind the third row. If you want even more storage space, you can throw the third row down. You can also throw the second row down as well. You just have these little latches right here that make things easy. You also have the straps to pull things back. So again, they've made the system user-friendly overall. When you're all done, just press this button. That will lower the hatch right back down. Really cool taillight design here with the TX. And then you guys can see TX 350 down below. And putting it all together, let me know what you guys think about the design on the TX. Definitely boxier compared to what we've seen with some other Lexus SUVs recently, again, like the NX and the RX. Now popping into the rear, you guys can see soft touch here on the door panel, and then we do have sunshades here for the passengers. And then I like this trim down below. I think that's really nice. And then also the padding here for your arm. And then we do have our window controls here for the back, and then we have got the release here for the door handle because it is automatic. And then you guys can see here with the seats perforated all down the center. And I just realized I said automatic. I meant it's electronic. And then you do have a manual pull. Just pull that twice there. And back to the seats. Legroom in the second row is solid. We've got a little storage pocket. We've got our own climate zone here in the back. We've got some USBs. And then headroom, because of the boxy design, it's good. Now these third row seats are nicely perforated, which I think is solid. You actually have some padding back here as well, which adds to kind of like the more luxury theme. Got some storage here on the side, and yes, I do have padding on this side as well. And look at that, it's a USB. But legroom back here, I mean, I fit is a little bit on the tighter side of things. And then headroom, I also fit. And then, by the way, there's a button on the top of the seat to move it forward. It's really easy to get back here. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, you can see soft touch here at the top, and then you can see all the padding down below. We've got all of our window controls here, our mirror adjustments. Mirrors do power fold in. I also have blind spot monitoring. And then again, we've got that electronic release. And then taking a look at the front seat, perforated all down the center portion. All of your power adjustments here on the side. Notice stuff like the steering wheel is automatic, power adjustable. I don't know why I keep saying automatic today. Anyways, you've got our hatch release, and you got the gas cap release as well. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see soft touch all around. We do have paddle shifters on the back for the 8-speed automatic transmission. We've got stuff like our adaptive cruise control, your lane keep assist, controls for the center stack as well. And then you guys can see the regular stocks here on the back. And then taking a look at the gauge cluster itself, first off, we got the little menu on the side, which we can scroll through different bits of information. It's partially digital, partially analog, and then we do have some drive modes, which will change the look of the gauge cluster depending on what drive mode you go into, which is kind of fun. Now in reverse, this particular one just has the backup camera. You guys can see trajectory lines turn with the steering wheel. And then I can't really get a good shot in the infotainment system because it's in the morning, but you guys can see with the infotainment system, we got the shortcut bar here on the side, and this is also where the drive mode select is within the infotainment system itself. But it's really easy to use, and the thing I like about this infotainment system is the climate controls are always accessible here at the bottom portion of the screen. They do have some physical buttons here, and that's for the volume, by the way, but I just like the fact that it's always accessible and you don't have to dive into some menus to use that. Now the dash is also soft touch, which I find nice, and then same thing right here. That part of the dash is also soft touch. And then when it comes to the glove box down below, yeah, we got good storage there. And I like the finish here with the vents and everything. And then this is what we're gonna call our charging area here. And it is also some storage. It's kind of like secret storage in a sense. Got some cup holders here. Shifter for the 8-speed automatic. Got our auto hold here. Stability control, it's kind of like your off-road mode. You've got your auto stop start, hill descent control, parking brake, and then we've got center console here. Good storage space. I like how it opens up on either side. It's kind of interesting how it does that. I do like the padding though, really nice finish there. And same thing here on the side, it's also padded right there. So here's our window sticker for this TX 350, finished in Cloudburst Gray. You can see almost everything standard equipment. There's your base MSRP. We do have a few options added to this, including stuff like the premium paint. Anyways, total MSRP after destination, $59,725, which is actually less money than I expected it to be. And we'll kind of talk about that during the driving portion, so let's take it out. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, which do have blind spot monitoring throughout the rest of the rear, and TX away. So this is the sibling vehicle to the Toyota Grand Highlander. And so, yeah, we'll see if it drives any different, if it drives the same, all that kind of stuff. But I already have some pretty strong open onions. I'm gonna start using that term all the time now. Open onions about the Lexus TX. And yeah, we'll talk about that during the driving. But first off, seat comfort's really good in normal Lexus fashion. And it's turbocharged powertrain. It's got good torque right off the bat. Now they do also offer the 500H version of the TX. So with the hybrid 2.4, that's, you know, right mid 300s for the horsepower, so quite a bit more horsepower than this. I'm going to turn that off. So yeah, if you're a little bit more power hungry, they do have a more powerful version. This is just the entry level version. Yeah, right off the bat, I mean, torque is definitely a strong suit with this. And the ride quality is so good. Yeah, it's great how this drives. Now this is obviously the biggest size that you have with the unibody construction Lexusi, whatever the plural is. And so it's an interesting feel because it's kind of like, it has more of a tank-like feel, but not quite as much as something like a GX or an LX. For example, it's body on frame. So there is a little bit of difference there, but it does handle better because of the unibody construction and the independent front and rear suspension. So there is a plus to that. And we're probably gonna want to get this set up here so we can pop it into sport mode. There we go. Yeah, it handles well, but it still feels big. Yeah, good power. Good power. That's for sure. I wouldn't say that it feels fast, similar to like the Grand Highlander, but it's got good power. So let's get into summing things up here with the Lexus TX, or my first review of the TX. Once they get more packages in with this TX, Then I'll get more reviews coming up. But just understand it might take a little bit of time because these are selling insanely quickly. And I think there's a pretty obvious reason as to why. This is an amazing value in the 3-row SUV market, even outside of the luxury market. Because you look at Ford Explorer nowadays, Dodge Durango, Jeep Grand Cherokee L, I can name so many, even like a Kia Telluride. Like, those are from non-luxury brands, and those are as expensive as this is, and this is from a full-blown luxury brand. So yeah, I think it's pretty impressive. Now, obviously, this doesn't necessarily have all the features. Like, if you get a loaded up Kia Telluride for like 56 grand, you're gonna get heated and cooled seats and all that kind of stuff. This just has heated seats, but still, the build quality that you get with Lexus, the reliability you get with Lexus, and the looks, right, frankly, you know, there is always a, you know, price premium to be paid for that kind of stuff. But I'm super impressed with this new TX so far. I'm interested to see what the other packages feel like. But in terms of just pure value, as a 3-row SUV, at least in this version that I'm reviewing today, this is a really good value in today's market. And so, yeah, if you're just looking, it doesn't matter if you're looking for a luxury car or not, if you're just looking for a 3-row SUV, check out the new Lexus TX. It's really cool.